What is up, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy, Stephen D, and we are live on this Tuesday night. It's not Clock Blockers. It's not Clock Blockers. It's the Miami Sports Music Power Hour, and my phone is just blowing up right now. And why is that? Why is my phone blowing up? Because I know all of you probably know, as a lot of you are aware, there is breaking news into the desk. New Orleans Saints free agent offensive tackle in the last 10 minutes has signed a 5-year, $87.5 million deal with the Miami Dolphins with 43.37 of it guaranteed. Huge pickup in free agency. Super excited about it. We're going to talk about it a little bit here. I am overwhelmed. I am overjoyed in a positive way. I think this is the biggest pickup we've had in a very, very long time. And I think that this shores up the offensive line in so many different ways. You have to look at what the Miami Dolphins have done in this free agency. And I'm going to get into it here in a minute. I'm going to have Jamie Bahamas on, as well as Cameron, and the Honorable Solo D is going to be joining us now in a little bit here too. What I do want to remind you all is this, right? Number one, when you're looking at it from the standpoint of what the Dolphins did, they signed Connor Williams, a guard, who I think is one of the best guards out there. And if you go look at his PFF, and I know some of you don't like the PFF stuff, I think he's such a great addition. And now you pair him with Terron Armstead. I'm going to tell you right now, our offensive line went easily with these two signings alone from the bottom of the NFL to maybe 12th best offensive line in the NFL with just these two signings, 12 to 15. And that's going to make such a big difference for us. I don't know about you, but I'm telling you right now, that's going to be a big deal for us in many, many different ways. And I'm excited about it. So without further ado, let me bring on my first co-host with me this morning, this evening. I'm used to saying morning because everybody else seems to be late for the party. It's as if they didn't know there was a show at 8 o'clock, the Miami Sports Music Power Hour. I got my man, Jamie Bahamas. What's up, Jamie?
What's up? It's the Power Hour, man. What's up with you?
I am good, man. Are you driving? Are you
You, you
okay?
know me, always a little bit busy, so I'm not quite set up for camera yet. But the people know who I am. They know what I look like.
You guys are killing me. I got to tell you, and it's as if you guys. You know what? You know what? I'm not even gonna go there. I'm not even going there because I am too excited to be filled with all this craziness. We got Terron Armstead. Tell me what your thoughts are of
Hey,
Armstead
you're
signing with
cute
the
enough.
Dolphins.
You're cute enough for all of us, man. As long as they're looking at your face, we're good.
I know. Well, hey, it is a good looking face, so I can't deny you on that one, bud. Tell me what you think so far, man,
Um,
with
so
this
this is good. I
Armstead
mean,
pickup.
the funny thing is that the Dolphins said that they would be aggressive this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
And I know a lot of people were like disappointed with it because they were like, well, we don't see the aggressiveness because they saw like, what the Raiders were doing, what the Denver Broncos were doing, you name it, what the Colts were doing, right? Every other
Yep.
team was making a big splashy move. But the first part is, to be honest with you, like I know what the Dolphins are betting on, but they could have lost a lot of players this offseason. Ogba could have been gone, Gasecki could have been gone. Those are top five players in at their positions, right? People
Yeah.
don't realize that, right? So to keep a top five tight end and a top five edge rusher, that's great. And then to go in, and you never know, man. They signed he was the top rated player, top rated player at a position in need, right? To go and target him and get him, that means you acknowledge that the need is there, which is good because sometimes teams just say they know better than the fans and don't even acknowledge it.
Yeah.
You acknowledge it and you try to do something about it. So
Mm-hmm.
kudos to them. Now let's see how it plays out, right? Sometimes you go get the biggest name out there and it doesn't work out. But right now,
Doesn't.
this is free agency, right? All you
Yep.
can ask for them is to go try to do what they got to do, and that's what they're doing. So I love it.
Well, let me bring on the other fourth of this wonderful, amazing team. My man Cameron 954 is in the building. What's up, buddy? How are you?
What's going on, man? It's Taco Tuesday. I have some Mexican indigestion now, choking down a couple tacos.
That's you're here. I'll tell you, like I just told Jamie, you're here. That's all that matters at this point, man. Welcome to the show. Super excited you're here on this Miami Sports Music Power Hour. Look, the breaking news is real. New Orleans Saints free agent offensive tackle Terron Armstead signs a 5-year, $87.5 million deal with the Miami Dolphins. Tell me your, initial thoughts right away.
I mean, the team, Grier, management, McDaniel, they got the big fish, right? That's what every fan wanted this offseason. It's what we wanted on the show. It's what publicly Grier went and said that he was going to go out and do is retool the offensive line. Every analyst under the sun identified, the offensive line as the Dolphins' number one need in free agency. And listen, as a Dolphin fan, you got to be excited, right? Like he was arguably the number one, number two, number three rated free agent available in the whole free agent class. And the Dolphins got this guy. They got their man. And, man, it just points to a lot of positivity for Dolphinville today.
I was just saying before you two came on that I think with the acquisitions of Terron Armstead as well as Connor Williams, I would say that this offensive line went from the bottom, maybe the worst in the league, to maybe, 12th through 15th best offensive line in the league with these two guys alone. What are your thoughts on how much this impacts the totality of the line and how much they're going to get better into next season?
Well, I'll refrain from giving a grade now because who knows what the philosophy of McDaniel and the offensive scheme that he's going to put in, prioritizing the talent that they're going to accrue. Now, I'd probably want to give a better grade after the draft and maybe through OTAs and start thinking about how it looks. But yes, they've upgraded the offensive line, and that's a positive thing. Where they fall in the whole, league offensive line rankings, that's yet to be determined. I think they still add a center, whether it's through the draft or free agency. We know that Treader from, I believe, Cleveland is still available. And I'll remind you also that the Dolphins have made zero to no, very little to no cuts. There's still opportunity to create cap space if they identify a free agent that's still there that they think that would fit in.
The other thing that I think is really important, Jamie, I think in this deal is the contract, right? The contract is $87.5 million with 43, I think, of it guaranteed. But looking at Twitter so far, what I'm hearing people say is the way that the numbers are going to work out with signing bonus and everything is that's going to come to like $15 million a year.
Which is a steal.
Which is a steal because all morning, all the last 48, 72 hours, Dolphin Nation was like, do you sign a guy for $22 million a year and add him to your offensive line? I mean, look, to get him for $15 million, that's amazing, right, Jamie?
Yeah, it is amazing, but you notice something, the way contracts are being done now is way different, right? The GM mindset has changed, and you can't look at the numbers other than right now, guaranteed money. So basically, we paid him 43 is what they're calling the guaranteed money.
Yep.
That's what matters these days, man. These guys don't care. They've learned now. So when we hear these contracts, they don't care about what those other numbers are. So for 43 million guaranteed, for a guy that you expect to hold down your left side of your line for the next, we know says 5 years, but for the next 2-3 years, really, right? Not a bad deal to me.
No, it's not a bad deal at all. Now, let me ask you, where does this leave Jesse Davis, Cameron?
But hold on, let me jump on that real quick, right? Because I wanted to say something when you asked Cameron about the grade, and I like the way Cam answered it. I don't think you could grade him until you see him play, right? Yes, we probably have one of the best left tackles in the league right now, right? But I heard I think Ray Lewis said it once before, right? Your offensive line is like patching holes in a bucket, right? All they got to do is find out one hole. So until you see these guys all together and working together, it won't matter if you have two dogs on the ends, right? People can still get through. So we need to see the finished product and how the coaching staff is going to work with them.
And I'll expound on that. That's a great point that he brings up, because if you look at the quote Connor Williams had yesterday to a Miami Herald reporter, he said that, he's open to moving positions, whether it's center or right tackle. So, and we've seen this in the past with the philosophy of the Dolphins. Now, whether that will be, the same philosophy on McDaniel, it remains to be seen. But in relation to what your question was on Davis, he's a versatile backup, right? And he's probably got value in that realm and can be signed for, very little money in retrospect. So, what Davis does, is he a starter? Heck no. And these signings, Armstead and Williams have proven that, they've moved on from Davis as a signer, but I think he's more than capable as a backup.
Now, look, I would agree with that. And here's the other thing, too. I don't think we're done yet. I mean, granted, I think some things would have to move around, but what the sense that I'm getting is that I don't know if we're done. So as of 24 hours ago, people were saying that Chris Grier wasn't being aggressive enough. I said with a signing like this, it makes this offseason that he is correct. He's been aggressive. Would you agree with that, Jamie and Cameron, or, disagree?
I agree. And that's the point I was trying to make earlier, and I didn't hammer it home, right? I agree he's been aggressive. People don't consider it being aggressive because most of the players are yours, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you go and rank the guys that they kept in-house and the additions, you've signed top 1 through 20, meaning like guys no rank lower than 20 in the free agent line, right? And the free agents available. You signed a handful of them, right? Yes, a lot of them were your guys, but imagine if we've had years where we just see guys just leaving because we didn't have the cap was horrible. We're just like, screw it, we can't keep Ogba. Like it's not gonna happen, right? You were able to keep all your guys and still go after the top guy on the list, and you're still not done. And so what Cam's point already is now you can start playing games with your roster if you want to, and start getting anybody you want still too. So I think the aggressiveness is there. However, I will just now counter what I said too. So yes, they did sign their own guys, and that was the aggressiveness that they were trying to do. The one thing that just has me a little bit perplexed about that is Miami must be banking on this coaching staff being great, right? Because by not retooling, by keeping in, Gasecki, Ogba, and you name it, right? Bringing back all your core guys. What you're saying is that, you know what? Yeah, we weren't a playoff team last year. Yeah, we lost 7 straight games, but I can bring back those same guys, tweak a few things, fill some areas of need, and that will make us a playoff team. That's what they're doing. Teams that were the Miami Dolphins that had that losing streak, missed the playoffs, had parts of the year where the team just looked like it was just needed to be blown up. They don't usually take that strategy. Super Bowl teams do that, right? And so it's interesting that they took that strategy, but it tells me that they must be thinking something about this scheme and this coaching staff can just take these players to a different level.
Looking at the players that they got, they re-signed Emmanuel Ogba. They tagged Mike Gesicki. They obviously just signed Terron Armstead. They got Connor Williams, Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mozart, Cedric Wilson, Teddy Bridgewater, Trent Sherfield, Alec Ingold, and Keon Crossan. And that doesn't include probably some of the other re-signings that they were able to bring back, as well as the potential. I think this contract, though, they will have to restructure some people's contracts. What do you think about this so far, Cameron, with all these guys that you see here below?
Well, like to carry on what Jamie was saying, Super Bowl contenders, playoff teams build their teams with quality depth. And last year's team was 9-8. You saw players step up into, meaningful snaps. Players like Duke Riley and Sam McGuavon and Roberts as linebackers, Nick Needham. These guys provided quality depth and starter minutes when called upon. And those guys are all young core players to this team. I think Grier's done a good job to adding a top layer to that while still retaining his core players, meaning that this new coaching staff doesn't have to, come in and fortify a team from, 1 to 53. There's already a good substantial base to this team. And I think Grier's done a good job of retaining that base.
Yeah. Hey, Steven, you don't want to tell the world. You don't want to tell the world that you told Armstead not to sign until tonight at 7:50, so you could lead off your show with it. You didn't want to tell the world.
I mean, look, I told him, dude, this is what we're gonna do, whether you like it or not, and that's how this is gonna work. Hey, real quick, this is a video from Terron Armstead's social media. Let me take this thing off here real quick and play it for you guys.
Terron Armstead, left tackle, entering my 10th year in the NFL. I'll be taking my talents to South Beach.
Hold on.
Yeah,
Work.
I like it.
Hold on.
Miami, what's up?
Miami, what's up?
I like it, man. He said, I'm taking my talents to South Beach.
Man, if you were scrolling through Twitter, man, today, just and talking about Armstead and just seeing how everybody, like, I don't think anybody worked today because they're all just waiting on the Twitter machine to announce Terron and Armstead's signing, man. It was crazy funny.
You know, one of the things, I know some people are a little skeptical because of Armstead's injury history. But let me tell you what this tells me as a fan base. I'm very critical about the team when I need to be. But I'm also going to be, I'm going to give the team credit due where it needs to be. And that is, you told me you were going to be aggressive. I think this signing shows a declaration of that, along with the other stuff that you did by re-signing Emmanuel Ogbah, which I desperately wanted, as well as having that opportunity to bring in Mike Gesicki back. I mean, look, I think this team is making the necessary moves to show that they are going to do what it takes to be a playoff contending team. Now a championship contending team, that's debatable. But I think they're making moves to show that they're not giving up on the year. They're not giving up on the team. It doesn't matter. We can have a conversation all day about the rest of the AFC and how good they've gotten. But to Cameron's point a little bit ago, I think that this team is banking on how good this coaching staff is going to be and the offense that they're going to integrate in with these people, along with the new backfield, along with the adjusted offensive line. It's going to bring in a new type of feeling, I think, in South Beach. Would you agree with that, Cameron?
Well, I mean, it's been Grier's plan all along. He tore down this team, after the 16th season and built it up through the draft. And now you're seeing the fruition of some of these draft picks, become marquee players, like Mike Gesicki, like Jerome Baker. The evolution of Tua, whether you're a fan of his or not, is integral to the success of this team. And if not, Teddy's a capable guy of taking this.
Oh, he did it. I wonder how long it was going to take before somebody did it. You did it.
Well, I'm just now listen, Jamie. You know where I stand on this, but I'm just saying that in relation to Steven's question, Christian Wilkins was Grier's first number one pick, and arguably he's one of the best defensive tackles, interior linemen in the league now. So my point is that this team, whether it was
by the way, real quick, Barry Jackson is stating that the Dolphins are not done as far as addressing certain needs, and that the center will be addressed. Now, whether that's through free agency or the draft, I think that's something else to be said. I didn't mean to interrupt you, Cameron. I just thought that was a very interesting take that Barry Jackson just said.
No, and that's something that we all just said a few minutes ago. But to carry on what I was saying, that this has been Grier's game plan, whether it was Flores as the coach or a new coach. Like, he has built this team, to kind of come to a head at this season and next season, and so that's why I think also the cap space that he's put aside and created for this particular off season, with some of these players identified and positions identified, is what you're seeing. You're seeing that plan come to fruition now.
And to add to that, right, about the plan, right? So Dolphins are betting on a couple of things, right? The first thing they're betting on, and you guys, I want you guys, when I tell you what they're betting on, I want you to tell me how much you believe in those bets, right? So the first bet they're betting on is that the defense that was really good at times last year, that was great during the win streak. They're betting on that defense being just as good with those players, or even better than they were last year, without Brian Flores. That's the first bet they're making. The second bet they're making is that by having Mike McDaniel pick his type of running backs, his type of guys he likes in the backfield, he can bring them into a system, and this one of the worst ranked rushing attacks in the league will be one of the best, if not top 5, top 10. And they also are banking on, by making that change and tweak and fixing the line, which is an area of need, you can now take Tua and turn him back into the RPO specialist that he was in college, that made him great at the NFL level. They're banking on those things, and if they are right, that's what they're betting on those things. And if they're right, the Dolphins are a good team. The Dolphins are more than a good team. The Dolphins are a contending team. How do you guys feel about the bets that they make? Do you guys believe in the bets that the Miami Dolphins are making on this season?
Well, let me start off by answering. I believe is such a very strong word to use there, Jamie. I have hope. I have hope, and I have positive hope. I know the capabilities of I know the possibilities of what a offense that McDaniel wants to bring down here to South Florida could be for the Miami Dolphins and what it could mean for this team. I see visions of Cedric Wilson being a Deebo Samuel, 100%. I see what he's trying to do with, bringing in Raheem Mostert and Chase Edmonds and having the fullback and Alec Ingold. I mean, look, it's going to be a fun offense to watch. I think that. And I said this morning, this team before the Armstead, I said, look, we're probably an 8 to 10 win team looking at, what the rest of the AFC has done, who we're playing against, how we've gotten better, which, by the way, I think we've gotten better from the last game last year. And now with this signing, I would say we not an 8 to 10 win team. I think we're, a 9 to an 11 win team. I think he improves us by 1 to 2 games. I think he's that good. I think he improves the line that much. And improving the line that much is an extra second, we get, our quarterback gets a chance to look at a receiver downfield. Improving that line allows our running backs to hit the holes with confidence rather than wait for something to open up, a second or two.
So late. you said it without saying it, right? By the way, you just focused the answer on the offense, right? So yeah, the offense got better. But the only way that matters and they still get to 9 wins or 10 wins is if you feel like the defense can replicate what it did. Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah. I do. Because
so Flores, you don't think losing Flores was a big factor, though?
I hope that it's not. because Jamie, I really, to your point, Jamie, I really believe that McDaniel was told that, hey, the core of this defensive staff is going to stay, and you're just going to use them. That wasn't McDaniel. Those aren't McDaniel's guys. Boyer's not a McDaniel guy. He was told that he's going to stay. And I don't care. Look, I don't have any inside information. It's not that but look, there's no other way, ands, ifs, or buts about it. A new coach comes in, you want your own guys. Boyer is not a McDaniel guy. So Boyer, you either replicate what happened last year or not at all.
And what Boyer probably told Grier was, for me to do that, I need everybody back. Right? That's
very possible. Hey, real quick, before I let Cameron go, I want to bring in somebody who's always.
I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not worried about you. I'm talking about the man who's always late to the party. I feel like I just want to throw him under the bus, roll over, back up, and then roll over him again, because that's how I feel right now. The Honorable Solo D. What's up, Solo? Hello, sir.
If I ever die, Steven did it. Y'all just heard
it. Man, it is on tape, too. It's on tape,
next
too.
2 years.
Hey, I seen Swallow D because he's been pumping it up in the gym.
Swallow
D, he could use a little flattening out there, so maybe
listen, y'all know normally I drink on this show, but if I'd have did that, I wouldn't have went to the gym after we got off. So this is my pre-workout.
Swallow D.
Oh, hey, listen. Let me tell y'all something. My birthday, June 1st. I said this before, but it's the last time I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be on 50 Cent 2003 status by my birthday. All right, 2003 50 Cent, not Super Bowl.
Just don't be hanging upside down.
Not the Super Bowl 50 Cent. Okay, all right. I got you.
I want to see the music video too. I want to see the music video. I want to see the music video, so that's all I want to see, man.
All right, so
you got to replicate the video too.
You got to replicate the video.
Man, we on.
I want to ask, first of all, we haven't seen you in a while. How was your vacation? You went to Mexico. Just like I did.
Matter of fact, look, this isn't from right now though. This since we're talking about Mexico.
Sounded empty. That sounded empty. I heard.
No, it was, but it wasn't from right now.
Okay,
all right. Earlier, I was working on a song.
Like 5 minutes ago earlier. Go ahead.
Why did I sound so low? That's kind of wild. Yeah, man, I went to Mexico. It was a vibe and a half times 2. I didn't want to come back. Matter of fact, we're looking at places.
You gonna leave us?
Yeah, I'm gone. But the only problem was the internet didn't work that good, so y'all will probably never hear from me again. But
how's that any different from now?
This is the problem, right? So this is the problem, right? I've been doing Duolingo for like 2 years, right? And people play with my Spanish. Like Jamie always making fun of me, right? But I navigated us through the jungles in Mexico with my Spanish. You understand me?
Yeah, were you speaking Spanish or were they speaking English? Did you just heard the wrong accent?
I want your wife to cooperate that. I don't.
Y'all can ask my wife, like, stop playing. My broken Spanish. I don't believe it. Not only that, first of all, I just showed a house yesterday, and the owner didn't speak any English, and I navigated me and my client through that. All right, I'm bad out here. That's all I'm telling y'all. Another year and I'm fluent. All right.
I want to say something so bad, but I don't want to take us down that road.
All right. Look,
I really don't want to take us down that road.
Yeah, please don't. No strippers. No Tootsie talk today. Okay, God.
Hey, there's only one language up there in Tootsies. We all know what that is.
That's the Spanish. That's that Spanish that Solo speaks. Oh yeah, they understood me. They understood me. Yeah, that's that same Tootsie Spanish.
Yeah, that's C4 Cap. You already know, man. That's look. I've been in the gym all night.
Tienimo dinero solo di.
Hey, baby, tenny dinero, baby.
I ain't got it. That's when I'm gonna say no comprendo.
I ain't got it.
I'm gonna say no comprendo.
What does he say?
No español.
What does he say on the pencil? I'm clean, Fred. I'm clean. All right. Hey, let me ask you. So your boy is in South Beach to stay. He's in South Florida to stay, man. Emmanuel Agba.
This is the first time I've been on this today, huh?
Yeah, this is the first time you have been up here. So
yeah, definitely.
Have you had a chance to chat with him and talk with him? And is he excited to stay?
Man, look, he was super excited. Like he didn't want to leave, man.
I know he didn't. I was trying to.
Yeah, like he said it clear as day. You know, at the end of the day, it's business. You know what I mean? So I'm glad they worked it out. But he definitely didn't want to leave, man. So I think that's major for the team.
Yeah, and I'm excited that he's here too. We got to get him up on the show, Solo.
We will. I got to handle one transaction before that, and then I got to.
All right. So, hey, Solo, let me ask you, as a fan, because I know you're not into, players getting signed and everything. When you hear the news tonight, though, that we signed Terron Armstead, that's official. Does it get your juices pumping? Are you excited?
So my full name is the Honorable Solo D, which means you must be honorable, right? I had absolutely no idea who he was until 2 days ago. And the only reason I knew was because a couple people tagged me on Twitter like, yo, if we sign him, you and Solo got to do a song. You know what I mean? So I see he does music.
He raps.
Yeah. And he's dope. I actually looked up his stuff on YouTube. So
hey, in all seriousness, you know why he wasn't available last night, right?
Nah. Why?
They said he was cutting a track with Rick Ross.
Oh, yeah.
And that's why he signed his contract today.
Nah, I believe that because I see he takes his music serious.
Seriously.
So, nah, he's pretty dope too. Like I heard his stuff. He had like 2 videos on YouTube. Like a lot of some people play around, but he sounds like what he's doing.
So are we gonna get?
He better get his mind right and come down here and play football. Come in here and get that Miami mentality.
I ain't gonna say
T. Armstead.
I ain't gonna say it. Just might get you jammed up. You know I have PR. I got to control. So what were you saying, Steve?
I said a T-Stead Solo D track, collaboration.
Yeah, that's gonna happen. Most definitely. You know what I mean? Like somehow, some way that's gonna happen like in the next 2 months for sure. Not anytime.
I'm excited. All right,
but like I said, I didn't know who he was, so I don't like lying. But I did look him up. So hell yeah, I'm excited now. You know what I mean? Like that's super clutch. I think that addressed like a major need we needed on the line. And it can only help, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'm definitely excited about that.
Jamie, man, you were saying something a little bit ago. I interrupted you, man. I don't know if you want to finish.
Nah, I probably get some shade for that, but I just was picking on your boy for talking about cutting tracks with Rick Ross, and I hope Solo said this on an earlier show, man. It takes a certain type to come to Miami and be successful, right? So yeah, I'm glad Homeboy's having all this fun with his music and, hanging out with Rick Ross and stuff. But you got to come down here and be a dog, too, man. We want that Saints version of him out here, not the Miami retirement version of him.
Hey, I'm glad you called it that way because we got Miami retirement plans, man.
Yeah. Hey, real quick. Here's a little some that is being posted on the internet right now. This is Terron Armstead, like 10 seconds.
Celebrated my 30th down in Miami. The car on the wall, I treat it like a Grammy. A few model bras, they treat me like I'm daddy. Reagan put up in the rose, I might go get a caddy. Celebrate.
Hey, man, he got bars. Bars, Solo.
Nah, I heard like 2 tracks from him. And matter of fact, I need to talk to you off air, Steve. But look, I'm about to do this show. I know I meant to call you like 2 days ago, bro. So
You mean to call me all the time. Every time I tried, Solo's like, yo, man, I meant to call you. And
Hey,
what happened was
some of us got jobs. Some of us 2 and 3 jobs, Stephen D. We just can't have you on speed dial every second of the day.
I'm trying to tell
That's
you.
what I keep trying to explain to him, man. Like he's, I keep trying.
Solo D Estates. Don't you follow the man? Come on.
no, I'd never see anything that he does at all. Nothing. He's not on his social media at all, ever. Except when he's 4-wheeling in Mexico. And I thought you were about to die.
Hey, did you do that when you went out there?
No, but we stayed on the resort. You went off the resort.
Bro, you sleep. Listen, we did a resort. Don't get less. We were out there 5 days. We did a resort 4 out of 5, bro. But you gotta like see the city, kid. Like you can't just stay on a resort, man, to be like in another country, man. Like everybody's like, yo, it's dangerous out
Oh,
there.
he
Like,
wasn't doing that Duolingo, man. He didn't want to go get kidnapped.
that's what it was, huh?
Hey, somebody like me gets kidnapped. Somebody like Solo does not get kidnapped. They ain't kidnapping Solo. I'm gonna get kidnapped.
What?
Nah, but look, let me say this though. Hold up. First of all, shout out DWA Mexico. All the Dolphins fans in Mexico.
Hellfins right after this. Hellfins right after this, y'all.
Oh, that's dope. Yeah. So y'all stay there and watch them. But look, this is what I was gonna say. I think Mexico gets a bad rep sometimes. You know, everybody was like, yo, I like the food and all that. But man, look, Mexico is a thriving country. You know what I'm saying? It's not like they got a whole economy out there, man. It's good people, you know what I mean? It's good. It's a good economy. Like it's not as bad as what they make it seem. Now, granted, I wasn't in the trenches, you know what I mean? I know I was in like a vacation town or whatever, but we left from there, went to Tulum. I got to see, you know what I mean, some space in between. So like I said, I wasn't just on the resort. And
Yeah, while we plug in Mexico, you're right too. The other thing people have to realize is Mexico is like a little bit like the U.S., where it's different, man. You could go Cabo, which is gonna look way different from Acapulco. I mean, like geography-wise and everything, you know.
Exactly.
Is this the
Well, you
damn
been to
travel
Acapulco?
channel? Come on.
Huh?
Yeah. Yep.
I need to go out there. I heard about that. Somebody was just
It was
telling
nice,
me when I was
man.
there. Yeah, I want to check that next. That wasn't my first time in Mexico, but it was the first time for that long. You know what I mean? So yeah, shout out to Mexico. Viva la Mexico. And y'all stay tuned for Hellfins next. All right.
Man, all right, question.
Now hold on, y'all didn't say nothing about Teddy B. All right, I understand he's a backup.
No.
That's Dade
Cam
County
already
Bridgewater.
Bro, I already talked to him, man.
went there. Cam already went there.
If you were here from the beginning of the show, you would have known that we already talked about that.
All right, I'm sorry. I apologize. All right.
Cam said it's a possibility.
Bridgewater got some shine though.
Yeah, Cam said it's possible he might have the reins. He kind of hinted to that.
No, I said he's more than capable of taking the reins if he ever came to that point.
Did y'all see Omar Kelly on Big O's show?
I try not to.
Omar was on,
Are you blocked, Cam? Are you blocked?
Are you blocked?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Omar
You
was
blocked
on,
now. Once he
Omar-
sees this.
I know Omar was on Big O's show, and Omar was trying to say how Teddy Bridgewater was a better quarterback than Tua is, and how he's going to start. And Big O like went off on him, like, "Come on, bro, no, don't do that, bro." It was a big deal.
Omar, man.
Hey, let's talk about Omar for a second. Can we do that? Because you guys.
Oh man, here we go. Yo, Steven got to play in this space, man. Don't make him create enemies,
I was
man.
about to say,
No.
I gotta live with everybody every day, bro.
Let me say this though. Just let me be clear. I don't have no problems with Omar Kelly. Omar Kelly has done nothing for me love over the years.
I like, hey, Big
That's what
O's.
they about to say. Make sure y'all see this
Big
solo
O's
clip
done
right here.
nothing but show us love.
Yeah,
and
but
Omar Kelly
cool as
showed
hell,
us
bro. I done
love.
shit with San Diego every
I am
time.
not going to say
So, okay.
anything negative about Omar
so
Kelly.
let's
You guys,
Okay.
So let's
you guys
hear
just
this. Let me hear
assume that I'm going
yeah.
to throw him under the bus. And I'm not.
Yeah.
What I want to say
Cam,
is.
I want to hear you. I want to hear you. Be real. Let me hear you.
No,
Don't back off now.
I'm making an observation here because he started that show with Marshall. The players, whatever.
I am athlete.
Yeah, I Am Athlete.
Yeah.
And now it's just Omar Kelly and, they Fred Taylor and Ryan Clark, they took it and they separated themselves from
You know what
Omar
happened?
Kelly.
You know what happened, right?
Well, hold on. And I'm talking about The Pivot, which is in an amazing show, but it seems like now they're competing in that same space. And so I want to know what happened. What you tell me, Steve, what happened?
So Channing Crowder and who's the other guy? Fred Taylor.
Yeah.
We're on the platform with Brandon Marshall and I Am Athlete.
Yeah.
I Am Athlete was created by Brandon Marshall. He put up the money for it and everything. Basically, when it came time to break bread, which we talk about behind closed doors here, the guy, Fred Taylor and Channing Crowder, didn't think that they were getting their piece of the pie that they should have gotten.
Speaking of which, where my money at, Steve?
Oh, we don't do this in front of the people, man. We don't do this, and we don't do this in front of the people. I know it's the power hour. Yeah, I know it's the power hour, but we don't do this in front of the people, man.
That's water, sir. That's not the Hennessy I was drinking.
You been on vacation, sending us pictures and all.
Hey, get out of here. You know that ain't true. But that's what happened. So they weren't breaking bread. They didn't think that they were getting paid what they deserved. And so basically they said, look, we'll make our own thing. They called up Ryan Clark from ESPN, and they started The Pivot. And I'll be honest with you, I like The Pivot. I like it.
They look like the same show, though.
It is.
I can't tell the difference. And you know what? Imitation is the best form of flattery. They all copied the shop to begin with. Right? That's that format.
They did.
Like, don't get me wrong. I
At
love
this point, bro, it's millions of podcasts.
I love Ocho Cinco and I love Marsh, right? But I love Channing Crowder too, and I don't know Fred Taylor like that, but I know Channing a little bit, and there are a lot of people that I'm in a circle with that know him even better. There's never nothing but nice things to say about Channing Crowder. So I think if he had a legitimate beef, I think there's something to it there. Like I think there's legs to that.
Y'all, if y'all haven't saw The Pivot, we plugging people now. It's crazy, but definitely watch that Michael Beasley.
Oh my God!
It was really good. It was really good.
That was
heavy. And so that was kind of my point. Is and Jamie said they're playing in the same space. So, unfortunately, or whatever perspective you have, Fred Taylor and Ryan Clark, they kind of carry more weight. Like that Beasley episode was amazing. Like for any format, whomever, sports related or not, it was an amazing interview.
Well, I'll tell you, my favorite was Antonio Brown. We got to get him on one of these Miami sports music platforms, but you know
what though? It goes back to how I feel about the industry right now. It's so oversaturated, and everybody's trying to do their thing, and nobody wants to. I think here's my opinion: nobody wants to work together, right? And I feel like if more people wanted to work together and come. I think some people could do some real damage.
So look, I don't know what kind of beef they got in, but Brandon Marshall on their first episode posted it. He's like, "Hey man, y'all go check out Fred and Shannon." I don't think.
Yeah, look, there's no hate. There's no hate between the two. I think
we just got different content now.
I think that there was a two ways of looking at it. They both weren't happy with it, and they were like, "Okay, hey, look, I love you, you love me, we're boys, but I'm gonna go do my own thing." Yeah. Now, I think Brandon Marshall, in my opinion, I don't know the situation, so who am I to talk about it? But if they're really boys, I think they should have worked something out. That's just the way I look at it.
Man, we talking about grown men right now.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when you don't give Solo his money and see how you guys work it out.
Hey, look, you got like 3 more weeks.
Hey, Jamie, we've been doing this for how long now?
About to say, the money that has exchanged hands between Solo and I over the last 10 years.
I want to hear this.
If we're not friends, if we're still friends now, I'm just saying, like we're gonna always be friends.
Hey, Solo, he drank your money all on the beach last weekend.
Goodness well,
that all-inclusive resort.
Who are you talking to, Solo? Huh? Is that Emmanuel Agba? Is that Agba?
Oh, he's crazy. Hey, let me ask you, Jamie, Steve, while Solo's over here conducting business. Do the Dolphins take a quarterback in the draft?
No, they don't.
I
stop.
don't.
I'm gonna stop that narrative right now.
See. The thing is, man, I love Cam's energy tonight, man. Like we're all like playing along, being all happy-go-lucky, right? Like I love his energy, and I know that the chat's loving him too. Um, you know what? The way I think they should approach the draft this year, I think it should just be stack your board and don't give a crap of what position it is. And whoever is the next up on your board, grab them. Right? That's how I think they should play it this
Best
year.
player available.
Yep. Truly stick to that. Don't. I don't care what the position is. Right? Just go get them. And I know that sounds crazy because you'd be like, Jamie, how many more cornerbacks do you want? Right? If the next guy up there, go get him. Right? That's my thought. And I don't think because of that, I don't know if a quarterback will end up being in that situation because people were downplaying the whole quarterbacks this year. I guarantee you, right before that draft, those quarterback names are going to heat up again, and you're going to see a run on quarterbacks like you haven't seen
I could
before.
see 3, maybe 4 drafted in the first round.
I want us to
And that's not what they're projecting. That's not what they're projecting right now. And I guarantee you, I'm with you there, Cam. I bet you by draft week, you're going to see that happen.
I want to go after that kicker.
The punter?
The punter or the kicker? The punter, yeah. You know what's crazy?
Awesome, bro.
I can't believe we're sitting here clamoring over a punter because I was saying it too. I was like, if I go and say
first
this,
of all,
I'm gonna get killed, right?
Bro,
But I'm with you there, man.
Miami has a
yeah. I mean, but you know the bullshit, right? But you know the bullshit, right? That's gonna be a punter that's gonna have to go in between rounds 3 and 5. Are you willing to do that?
Yes. Of course, that guy he can kick 75-yard punts, bro.
I know he can, but he's gonna be like the 30th. Oh, sorry, he's gonna be like the 20th highest player on your team when you do that as a punter.
You know what? And here's my thought of it. If it doesn't work out for the Dolphins, they need somebody that can switch the field.
I like that dude though. I'm with you there though. I like that. When I saw him do that, I was like, yo. Put him in a jersey, man. I'll cheer for a punter.
What up, Andrevius?
Well,
we got Hetty Murphy here. We got Cameron Scott. We got the Honorable, whatever his name is. I don't remember his name.
Call you Hetty Murphy.
You see, he started shit, man. You see?
That was the first episode of this damn show.
We all being nice and stuff like that. He's starting shit, right?
Andrevius said the doom and gloom is over. Yes, there was never doom and gloom here. We always knew the Dolphins were going to be Super Bowl contenders. Isn't that right, fellas? We already
Hey, Jamie. So who's the first? So who's the first player? Do you think the Dolphins identify in the draft? At the draft position, do they stay in the draft position?
I think they're going to shop that pick. I think they're going to shop it. If they get something they like for it, then they'll move out.
We don't pick on one. We don't.
I think if somebody's sitting there, like right now, right, they're trying to address needs, right? Say I said best player available, right? But let's just say the top rated center is sitting at that spot, and they didn't address center yet in free agency. I don't think they move. I think they take their guy.
The guy from Iowa, right? Tyler Lindblom.
Yeah. So if it's not the top-rated center sitting at that spot, I see them then saying, "Okay, cool. We could get down. We could drop, 5 spots, still pick up whoever this is on the board, and get an extra second or third or fifth or whatever they're going to pick up with it, right?"
Right.
So that's how I see it. So it's just very few positions. We still don't know yet because they're not done in free agency. But there's only a few spots on the team where I could see them sitting there and be like, "Yeah, no, we got to make this move," because. At first, right, it's a low-end first-round pick, right? So at first I was like, before free agency, I was like, okay, cool. That's either going to be a lineman or a running back, right? You saw what they did. They went and got Mickey D's running backs, right? They got all the guys he wanted. So I don't think they're drafting a running back high. I just don't feel that. They're not going to draft a quarterback high because they went and got Bridgewater, right? They're not going to, and then now linemen, right? And they've already drafted a bunch of high linemen, so it has to be now.
That kid from Boston College. That kid from Boston College, they might get.
Yeah, and you love BC for linemen, man. I know you're high on them for years.
I mean, for me, Matt Applebaum, I'm telling you, is our biggest signing this offseason. Not even Armstead. I'm saying Matt Applebaum, the offensive line coach, is the biggest thing, the biggest move the Dolphins made this offseason.
I'll say that if Breece Hall is available at their pick at the bottom of the first round, or even if they trade up, into the high second round, you got to take that kid. I don't care if Mostert and Edmonds is signed. If you have an opportunity to take Breece Hall.
That's how I feel, Cam. I'm with you, but I have a feel. You really get to see tendencies, right? Like if we are to believe that Grier has been the mastermind behind drafts, we know that Grier right now does not value drafting running backs, man. Like he's done it before and he's gone away from it, right? He did it with Drake was a Grier draft, right?
Yeah, but
I think Drake was the highest one.
He was a third rounder or fifth rounder. I'm sorry, and then Myles Gaskin was a seventh rounder, and Dokes was a seventh.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick.
Yeah, so you can see that's how Grier handles running backs, right?
I want to throw this out there. Terron Armstead was the top-rated free agent in this offseason.
That's right.
His contract will not even rank in the top 10 of the highest-paid offensive linemen in the NFL this year. Like, I gotta clap for that. Like, if you that is genius of Grier. You got the best.
I give Grier some credit. I don't give him all for that.
Credit.
Let me tell you why. Right? The market determines what you're going to pay that person too, right? Why I say I give Grier some credit is he didn't panic. He didn't go out and say Armstead day one, like I need a lineman, I need you. You're the only one right now that I know is available, but Collins wasn't available right away. He didn't go to him and just throw the biggest contract and set the market with that guy. He was patient. They kept talking, but he was patient. Somebody else could have swooped in all this time. He was being patient. So he didn't overpay because he waited on the market, but he was patient. So I give him credit for that part.
If Grier hits on at least one of his draft picks this year, all he needs to do is hit big on one.
Well,
I'm going to tell you right now. Grier's the best GM the Dolphins have had in the last 25 years. Any argument? Any argument there?
You said 25 years.
Best GM in the last 25 years of this franchise.
I'm trying to see where 25 years.
But see, y'all have to think about. You still have to think about.
Because you said 25 years. Dude, what would it be? How long?
I like what Andre is saying.
It's not like you said.
Put some respect on his name.
Steve, until one of them takes it deep in the playoffs and sniffs the Super Bowl, they all suck. How's that?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a fair statement. But look what he did in last year's draft. Look, he was able to get Emmanuel Ogbah and Gesicki for $18 million total this year. That's wild.
You know where Grier's gonna live and die. I'm gonna tell you this right now. If Grier got all this right, everything right, which he's doing well, right? Look at we haven't talked about Javon Holland today at all, right? You know where I'm going. I fall to your side, Cam. I'm yielding to you right now. He could get them all right. And listen, if he struck out on Tua and doesn't fix it right away, if he doesn't pull an Arizona, I don't care how good everything else was, they're gonna say he failed, and rightfully so, right? You can't miss on your most important position and still call you the best GM, right? I'm not saying he missed. Follow my words. I didn't say he missed. I'm saying if he missed.
No.
On that.
Listen, I love Tua. I want to see him succeed, but if he doesn't succeed this year, woo. To your point,
and especially when you had a year like this year. Well, that's what I'm about to say, right? You had a year like this year where there were like 8. No, but listen, look how many quarterbacks were available. If you needed a quarterback this year, was the year quarterbacks were available, and we said we're good, right? Look at all the names that were out there. We said we are good, right? And that's what we did. So now, if he misses on this, I don't care how great everything else is. People.
See, that's why God don't like ugly, Jamie. You over here in your internet drop, bro. You over here talking reckless. You over here talking reckless, son. You better put some respect on this man's name. Put some respect on Chris Grier's name.
And by the way, I like Grier just so I can level set. You know, he has a nice haircut. I like his hairdo. You know, he's a good dude.
I'm actually appalled.
He's always wearing that hat.
Yeah, I like his style, man. I'm a Grier fan. I'm just being real, though.
Now, look, I would love for the Dolphins to go out and get the center, J.C. Treader. And if they go out and sign him, if they were to pull that off, I don't want to hear no blasphemous. I don't want to hear no negativity. I don't want to hear nothing negative about Chris Grier. Not a thing. Not a thing. I'm telling you right now, if he goes out and gets a starting center like J.C. Treader, everybody don't even come on my show if you're going to talk bad about Grier.
Steven, I hate being this guy today because I like people to like me, right? And you're making me be this guy today, right? So all that being
Look here,
said,
Eddie Murphy.
right? Next year, right? We built this squad, right? This offensive line you're talking about. We drafted we got Waddle back there, Gasek, we got ballers everywhere, right? And if you can singularly say that the biggest problem for the Miami Dolphins this year was quarterback play, who do you blame that on, Tua or Grier?
How do you blame something like that on Grier?
He's stuck with the guy.
But I'm not blaming Grier.
Okay, it's a valid question, right?
This is why I'm not good at these conversations, bro. We're talking about professional athletes, bro. To even get on the board in the NFL draft, bro, you had to be elite. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But when you make a team, like, bro, if it doesn't pan out on the field, how do you? You know what I mean? Like,
so let me give you an example, right? Arizona had Josh Rosen. To your point, Josh Rosen ain't no slouch. He could better athlete than everybody here was talking about him right now.
Pan out in the pros.
But that's my point. You get to but this is why I put
Right, but it's a gamble.
But hold on.
Like,
No. But let me get this out. I'm not saying it's wrong for selecting him. I'm not saying wrong for getting him the shot. I'm saying once you realize he doesn't pan out, how long do you ride with him? You know, people were on Grier for riding with Tannehill for so long, and I'm a Tannehill fan. But some people said, yo, you should have cut bait long before you paid the man. That's a GM's job.
I think they should have built around Tanny. Like, Tanny took a lot of hits in his first 2 years.
But Tannehill's not on Grier.
Exactly.
I was using the example.
But it's a bad example. It's not even a good example, though, Jamie. We're talking about a passer.
It's not the GM. It's not the GM's job to determine how long you stick with a quarterback or not.
But
so it's not Grier's responsibility to determine if we should have kept Tua this year, last year, or even beyond this year.
It is the GM's responsibility, Jamie, to bring the organization together as a whole. So if a piece doesn't work or fit, then it's up to the group to do that together. One of the issues that Brian Flores is no longer
now
here.
Is the group.
I'm just saying the whole group.
But no, before we just giving my boy all this praise, and I like that. But now when it's bad, it's the group.
Right. Let me ask you something, Jamie. Let's talk about a team that's very similar to the ways ours is being put in together right now, right? Look at San Francisco 49ers. Do you think the San Francisco 49ers are a good team?
Look, you to my point, right?
You.
Look what they did.
Yes or no? Are they a good team? Are they a good team?
They are a good team. They are beyond a good team.
And do you think Jimmy Garoppolo is a quarterback that can win you? He can win you a game and get you. Can he get you a Super Bowl?
I think. Can he get you there? Is what you're saying?
He's already gotten somebody there.
That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm saying. You're asking for me to answer what already happened. You're asking me, can he get you there? The answer is obvious. He got a team there.
Okay. Now they went out and got Justin Fields, correct? Or not?
That's
Justin
exactly
Fields,
my point.
Trey Lance. They got Trey Lance.
Yeah.
They went out and got Trey Lance.
Now you're on my point, right?
Now, if the Dolphins the next offseason, to Cameron's point, or even this one, I'll even do it for this one, Cameron. I'll play your little game about you in the draft this year. I'll play your game. Even the Dolphins draft a quarterback this offseason or this draft. They are not doing it with the intent that Tua's on his way out the door. Hello. They gave Jimmy Garoppolo and are still giving Jimmy Garoppolo every chance to be the starting.
Nobody said that.
But you guys know you missing my Cam. You got my point, Cam? Because I need some help here.
Of course I do, but I never said that, Steven. But my point is that you got to look to the future in case, right? Like you always draft the quarterback. That's the Bill Parcells way, right? Like you draft the quarterback every freaking year. Regardless of what you have in place currently.
Okay.
Because you never know what's
bingo.
fluid
GM's
position.
job.
But
The GM's job is to
correct
try
me-
to
correct
upgrade
me-
every
correct me if
position,
I'm
every
wrong.
chance he gets.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Every quarterback that's been drafted under Belichick, with the exception of Tom Brady, has not succeeded in the NFL anywhere else.
Jimmy G?
Jimmy G is the one. I'll give you Jimmy G. I'll
No,
give you Jimmy
no,
G.
they drafted what's the guy's name? He's still playing the league. He was Brady's backup last year in Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I try to remember his name too.
I can't remember his name.
I thought
Anyway,
Rose was
he's
in.
got like 3 or 4 that they drafted. And I'm not saying you're drafting these guys to be franchise quarterbacks. Maybe you need a long-term option behind Tua.
That's why they went out and drafted Wack Jones with the 15th overall pick last year.
Huh?
Y'all won't disrespect Jacoby Brissett like that. All right, my man is making moves.
Oh, I will. I will.
Man.
That man's the reason we didn't make the playoffs this year.
Hey, that man's going to lead Cleveland to 0-6 start of the season. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Oh God.
Watson ain't sniffing the field the first 6 games.
What
At
happened to
minimum.
Ryan,
At minimum.
what was his name?
Ryan Mallett.
Ryan.
Yes.
What happened to him?
Thank you. That's what I was talking about.
Did you just say, are you kidding me, Cameron? That's the guy you use to consider as a state of
He's
success?
still in the league.
Malik
He's
Yeah,
still in the
he's still
league.
back
That's
up.
my
Yeah.
point.
No, Solo. Don't let Cameron fool you.
No, that is my point. You don't necessarily
And
have
who
to
you're
look.
thinking of, and who you're thinking of is Castle. Castle's the one that got 60
Castle.
million off of 11 games and then
Mike
didn't
Castle
do a
really.
damn thing. For the
Who
rest
cares? My point is that he was a capable backup. That's why you look
I
at some
don't
of these
need a
guys.
capable backup. I need a starter. I need somebody who's going to get me to a Super Bowl.
Jamie,
Steven, now hold on. I'm now both of you guys just nailed my point. Thank you. You brought it full circle for me. I'm 100% with what Cam said and 100% with what you just said, Steven. And that's why I said it's on the GM. Yes, I want a starter. Right? That a guy that I'm trying to like
By the
put
way,
everything around him to make the team work, right? I want a and by the way, I am not saying Tua isn't a starter. I'm a Tua fan. Let me let that on the record. I want this
I
boy
wouldn't
to
know it.
show
The
up.
argument we just had the last 10 minutes.
Because I gotta keep it real, right? The point is this: the GM's job is to be able to look there and say, "Look, do I have that starter or not? And if I don't have it, I gotta go find it. I gotta do what I gotta do to find it, right? That's what his job is. Now Tua's job is to go play and prove that he's that starter, and I think he can. But the GM's job is to feel like, dude, that dude's not it. Let me go figure it out. And right now, he's saying he's it.
All right, there's a couple more topics I want to bring up. We're going to go into overtime a little bit. There's a couple more topics I want to bring up. Number one, Solo, the University of Miami, baby.
There we go.
That
Finally,
basketball
I'll take
team.
one.
That basketball team making the Sweet 16, man. Metro Rail boys. Shout out to the
Shout
Metro
out
Rail
JD.
crew.
I missed
Like-
the watch party, but I'm gonna come. Even though I just said he said it's gonna be in Weston. That's kind of far, but I'm gonna try to get out to that. Yeah, Miami's on fire right now, and I'm glad you pointing that out. You know what I'm saying? I understand we like talking about the Dolphins all day, but it's off season. We are making good moves, but we need to talk about the number one team in the East. All right, in the NBA, Miami Heat. All right, I'm pretty sure I don't know the division, but I think the Panthers are somewhere near number
They're
one.
the best team in the NHL.
in the whole league, right?
Yeah.
All
and
right,
they
so
traded for a 7-time All-Star.
know
I heard that. And look, so I don't know too much about hockey. Y'all know I learned in front of y'all though. But from what I saw last year, Tampa, who beat that's who the Panthers lost to, but they went on to win. Tampa made that same type of move in order to make that run, right? They went and got like a big star. All right, so the Panthers about to win, the Heat about to win, the Hurricanes about to beat
number 11. They're playing number 11,
Iowa, right?
State.
We about to smack Iowa.
Elite
If you from
Eight.
Iowa.
Yep.
Big shout out to Iowa. But you're getting slapped about it there. You're not going to the Elite Eight. I think the Hurricanes are going to shock a lot of people, bro. They're the most they're the most seasoned team there.
Solo.
They have amazing offense, amazing
They're going to make
defense.
the Final Four. They're going to make the Final Four.
I think so, for real. Like, you know, I talk shit either way, but I really, like, after watching them, bro, I really believe they're composed, man. They got a great coach. They're mature. They got something, man. They got something. I think
So they got leadership. Number one, they got a coach.
That's important, yeah.
They got Coach Larinaga, who's unbelievable, and he's been to the dance, and he's so savvy in identifying weaknesses of the opposing team.
Exactly.
Secondly,
Cam, I'm not
they're-
sure you're allowed to say that word, man.
That was kind of
Savvy?
close, right? This was kind of close.
Cameron had to be like,
Yeah. My ears open on. What did he just say?
I said, what's his name? No, go ahead.
Larinaga.
You better be careful of it.
Slip,
Go
man.
ahead, say it, Cameron. That's my Lara. Never mind. Never mind.
You guys are stupid, man. What I was going to say.
He slipped.
Oh Lord, you stopped me right in my tracks.
No, go ahead, man. You're right.
He's sweating now. He's like, oh shit. What I just do?
Ignore Hetty Murphy.
No, Jamie, you got me wondering what I said. I'm like, oh, I get it now. So I don't even think that way. You guys think.
Hey, that coach. That's my Lara. Never mind.
Anyway, their point guard Moore, man, he's a 6-year senior. He's played more NCAA games than anybody else in the tournament field right now, and he's like cool and calm and collected, leads his team, right?
Yeah.
And it's awesome. And then Lee and the other shooter, I can't remember his name, starts with an MC. Those guys are playing so well together right now as a team. Like you can see them making a deep run because historically, teams that are senior led and have the NCAA tournament.
They do.
And now they're playing an Iowa State team that's almost identical to them. They play tough defense, shoot threes really well, and really don't turn the ball over. You know, Miami turned the ball over only 3 times against Auburn. That's what won them the game, besides their
100%.
defense.
And they caused a lot of turnovers. How many did they get?
Their defense had Auburn
Nasty,
like
bro. Yeah.
didn't know what to do. And that player is he'll be the consensus number 1 pick next year in the NBA draft, and they shut him down.
Who won? Oh no, from Auburn.
From Auburn.
Right.
The freshman.
That kid is good.
Anyway,
That kid is good.
No,
it's going to be exciting to see what the Canes do because they can win the next game, and man, momentum will be on their side.
They
I
will.
just want to take this time, just real quick. I just want to give Cam his flowers real quick. Like I just realized, he's cold as hell with these sports. Like he can. The fact that he just went in that depth about Canes hoops, and now he can do the same thing about the Panthers and Cam is cold. I don't think y'all giving him enough credit, bro. He's really supposed to be on ESPN, bro.
Solo.
We already know. We
Cameron,
already know Cam was carrying Steven.
Cameron should do.
Get that man a raise, man.
Cameron should
A raise.
Here we go again.
First.
Here we go
I gotta
again.
get paid first.
Yo,
Man, they
this is
say
why I like
Steve
the
ain't
power
paying
hour.
nobody, man.
This is why I like the power hour. We air all the dirty laundry, man.
I hate y'all.
You want me to show you the budget, Solo?
All the dirty laundry, guys. If you want to know what's going on behind the scenes, Miami
Don't
Sports,
believe a
just go to the
word.
power
Steve, you
hour.
better pay them people, man.
Y'all funny. Y'all
Hey,
got
see, I got your back, right? You notice I ain't saying nothing, right?
Yep. Hetty Murphy didn't say
But that
a
might mean I got
thing.
paid. But that might mean I got paid.
I pay people that I like. I don't pay people that I don't like.
You don't pay star players that, bro.
Hey, you know what we should do, Steven? You know what we should do before the draft, and it's coming up soon, right? At the end of April, maybe in 2 or 3 weeks, after all the free agency period is done, we should each run the NFL draft and run it live on the show and talk about each other's picks.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that. We
That's
can
dope.
definitely do that. That'd be dope.
Yeah,
That would-
I'm doing it right now.
Mock draft. All right, now, the other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about that I thought was really interesting, and it had to do with the Miami Dolphins. As you guys know, I talk a lot about Deion Sanders, HBCUs. I try to give a lot of love and support and spotlight to that. Yesterday, Deion Sanders goes on social media, says, hey, look, we had a pro day. 22 teams, I think it would end up being 24 teams, but 22 teams didn't show up, or 22 teams showed up, 10 teams didn't show up to our pro day, but you best believe they're going to show up to Mississippi State and Ole Miss. There's a problem there. And then today, he goes out and airs the 8 teams, because it ended up being 24, the 8 teams that didn't go. And one of those 8 teams was the Miami Dolphins that didn't show up to Jackson State's pro day. There are some people on social media that will say, well, they didn't have anybody talented enough to. And then there are some people that are saying, no, they do. Why did 22 other teams go and not the other? And so I want to start out with Cameron, then Jamie, then go to Solo a little bit. I know you guys aren't necessarily comfortable with the standpoint of college football when it comes to HBCUs and knowing what's what, because we're all still kind of learning it. We're getting more knowledgeable about it. But I think he brings up a good point. And I have to admit, I was disappointed in the Dolphins for being one of the 8 teams that didn't show up. Cameron?
Listen, I'd rather focus on the positivity that Dion's bringing to the HBCUs and the college football programs. You know, they've got games now in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Georgia. They have NFL teams coming now to their pro days. 5, 6, 7 years ago, you didn't have anybody
There
coming.
was nobody coming.
So Prime is bringing this, and he's recruiting, right? Not only for Jackson State, but other HBCU schools. They're getting top tier talent to come to these schools and cultivating these young men into not only, to grade A student athletes. And that's the focus of HBCUs, right?
Yeah.
And Dion's just shining a light on what the potential that some of these players, student athletes could have, and moving forward, how he wants to see this further develop. And if it were for Dion, I don't believe that they'd be in the position they are in now. So I want to focus on that positive stuff.
You see what I'm saying about Cam?
Hey, I don't care. I don't care what Solo said about you, Cam. You're not racist, man. That was an excellent take.
Valera, never mind. Jamie, your thoughts on it?
So I was gonna not play it safe, and I still won't play it safe, right? And you make me follow Cam with that beautiful take, right? Here's a couple of things with this, man. I don't like when people do things just because it's symbolic, right? The Dolphins, if they went to that, it would have been because it's symbolic, right? Grier is not in the habit of drafting from small schools. We used to do that and look for gems here and there, right? And teams don't go to every team's pro day. It's not possible, right? So they chose not to. And just because you didn't go to the pro day doesn't mean you're not doing research on the players. If you have a player somewhere, somebody will find you. So 2 things there. I do give credit to what Dion is saying. He did the right thing because now he's putting people on notice, saying, "Look, I got ballers here. You guys got to come see him. If you don't see him, you could have this, chip on. You could have this. How to put it? This little, it'll look like a little stain on you. Why you don't want to come, right? So I appreciate that Dion's doing that. But on the flip side, man, he's not the only team. He's not the only school that teams didn't go to see on their pro day, and had nothing to do with him and his school, right? It was just you can't go to them all.
Yeah.
I think my argument, Jamie, to that is Ole Miss and Mississippi State's pro days are like they were today, or one of them was tomorrow, and the next one is the day. So it's not like they couldn't have had the same, because the same people are going to go to Mississippi State and Ole Miss's pro days. So you could have easily had that guy fly out 3 days earlier.
You just hit it.
Jackson
you just hit my point. You hit my point. Take it from a guy that has to travel for his job and move through and through, right? Like, dude, if I'm like, what's my value to it? Am I going to work extra long now to go somewhere that I really don't think I'm putting energy into anyway? Like, no, I'm cutting my day short, right? I'm like, okay, send me the file on the guy. I'm not traveling an extra place because you are going to send the same guy.
And and this is what I say. I don't like, I love Dion, man. I don't like disagreeing with Primetime. I think it was a great strategy to say that because look, we're talking about it right now. But the way my mind works, I heard you say 22 teams came, bro, and I'm like, yo, that's heavy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So to me, I like focusing on. I'm different. You know what I mean? I don't like drama. I like the good stuff. 22 teams came out there. You know what I mean? How many came last year? Let's look that up. Or 2 years ago. Let's look that up. I'm pretty sure it wasn't close to that. You know what I mean? So I'd rather focus on the positives, man. As far as Miami Dolphins not being in it, man, it's reason for everything. But, like, we're not going to get into that stuff, man. Look, we need to talk about the Miami Heat going to the finals. You understand?
That was the next thing.
Florida Panthers going to the finals. We need to talk about Canes going to the Final Four. And when they get there, I'm going to say we're going to win. But I'm going to wait. I'm going to be humble for now.
I think we're getting to the Final Four. I'm not going to say we're going to win it yet. But
that's heavy, though. That's heavy when we get to the Final Four. I'm going to talk trash when we get there.
Real quick, the other thing I want to get to is the Heat. Because there are a lot of the national media is, I think, crapping. And I quote, these are what some of the national media pundits are saying. This is the softest number 1 seed in NBA recent history for playoffs.
Yeah. You know why they said soft?
Again?
You know why
said that they were the softest number 1
softest
seed.
Meaning weak, or softest being their grit? Like, do you know what they meant by soft? Because I'll tell you this, right? I'll tell you this.
That's what
the
they
East
said.
The East right now is so jumbled up. You're gonna win the East with 50 wins, maybe, right? When's the last time that's happened? Right? That's unheard of. 50 wins and you're the number 1 seed. You're probably going to be around that, right? And the reason why is because Philly, they're dogs, right? You got a Antetokounmpo and the Bucks, they're dogs. Brooklyn, part-time players, dogs. Don't forget the Chicago Bulls were tearing it up before the All-Star break, dogs, right? You got all these teams that they were around just sniffing that 40, 45, 50 win mark too, right? So they're probably saying that because it's not a clear runaway like you usually do. So I could see that, but I wouldn't call that team soft, man. That team got grit.
I agree. I think that's really interesting that that's what the national media is looking at. Cameron, what are your thoughts about the national media saying that the Miami Heat are the softest number 1 seed in recent history?
I mean, who said that? Like, you can't call them, to Jamie's point, you can't call Bam soft. You can't call Butler soft. I mean,
right?
I just don't get it.
DDG says soft, meaning that most other teams have been missing players. Not a true.
We've been missing players. DDG.
Well, everybody been down. I remember
the
Heat playing.
Jimmy missed, Lowry missed, Bam missed. Come on, man.
Wait. Are you? Wait. Let me still get the clarity there. Are they saying the Heat are soft because their players missed a lot of games? I don't know. It's tough to use that terminology, man.
He's right. He's right. That's why they're saying it. That's everybody's excuse. So this person been out. This person been out. That's
I think they're trying to find something to pick apart the Heat.
To pick on them.
As a lifelong Heat fan, we love that.
It's hard to find flaws in the Heat.
We love being underdogs. So
let me tell you something with the Heat. Let me tell you, and this is coming from somebody. I really lost a lot of fans today. I am not a Heat fan, and even with saying that, I got to tell you, the Heat have impressed me because the games they're winning, they're beating good teams. They're beating good-ass teams, right, when they win games, right? So that, to me, is a sign, and they're still holding it down over there in the East when they're missing players, man. So I don't know. I don't know if the East, like, I know you guys are hopeful they're going to win it all. The West over there, Phoenix scares the hell out of me. You got Golden State. Like the
we
West.
Don't even have to
worry about Golden State in the Western Conference.
We don't even got to worry about the West. To the final.
But the Heat just getting to the finals isn't the goal, man. We're not talking about a poverty franchise, man. We're talking about dudes that should and could win. All right.
No, I don't disagree with you there. I just think that, look, I'll say this. I think that the Miami Heat, I don't think there's a better all-around team out there right now. I don't.
Y'all better find that out.
Y'all find that out.
Cam, you being quiet. You being quiet, man.
And what I should preference that and say is in the Eastern Conference, I don't think there is. In the Eastern Conference, I don't think there is. Because if I'm honest with myself, Phoenix scares me in a 7-game series. Golden State scares me in a 7-game series. But that's it.
They should, man.
That's it.
I mean, Brooklyn's gonna go 7. I'm not going.
They're not. They're not.
So that's why I stayed quiet when you said all around team. When you said all around team, Brooklyn to me put together, right?
Brooklyn
Chicago is put together.
Where's Kyrie at?
He's there. That's all that matters.
He's even play in the entire 7-game.
Well, that's huge, right? If they have home court advantage, like.
But they won't. Yeah, that's the good thing. See, Brooklyn's record is so bad they won't have home court advantage.
And so that means that he's not playing.
Like they're still fighting for 8th seed, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're not even. Brooklyn lost a lot of games. Now we know they're gonna end up in it.
A team like Brooklyn, though, and that's what I'm saying. The seeding.
You don't want to see them in the first round.
Yeah, I don't want to see Brooklyn in the first round. I'm not.
That's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. And you know there's going to be upsets, right? Because look at what's happening right now. You're going to end up with Brooklyn being a 6, 7, 8 maybe, right? You're going to end up with Chicago and Philly being a 4 or 5. What type of – you don't want to see those teams in the first round?
And right now, the Nets are 8 and the Heat are first. Like, that's dangerous.
I mean, end of the day, it is what it is. I'm still riding with my
– You got to go through them, right?
You do realize 7, 8, 9, and 10 – have their own little mini tournament to get in.
Yeah, they do the playoff.
They do that little mini play-in tournament.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, by the way.
I do too. As a fan, I do. If I was, somebody who was always in the 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th spot, I probably wouldn't like it as much. But hey, it's neither here nor there. The Heat aren't that, so that's what it is. real quick to stay on the
Hey,
basketball.
while we can stay on basketball for 1 second, we didn't get a chance to talk about this when this came up, but I think it's a topic I wanted us to talk about. You saw Spoelstra getting named as like one of the top sports coaches in South Florida history,
As he should.
right? That's what I wanted to hear your thoughts on that, man. It shocked me to see him get that clout. I'm not saying he's bad. I just was like, I never would have.
I mean, look at
That statement never would have come out of my mouth until I heard somebody else say it.
Who's he up against? You said in South Florida. I think he's one of the best in the league.
Well,
That's when people started saying
NBA history.
of all time.
South Florida.
Yes,
yeah, Spoelstra is probably top 25 coach of all time.
agreed.
Like he's that good. Spoelstra is that good.
I never thought about him like that.
He's been with the franchise.
That's what I wanted to
17
hear.
or
You know
18
why?
years.
You know why? Because
Longer than that. He's been there since the 90s.
guess who?
He started in the film room.
Am I saying this right? His predecessor
Was Pat Riley.
was Pat Riley, and so you.
But
go
that's
from
but
Pat
that's
Riley
but that's
to
why
whoever.
but that's why I struggled with that for him, right? Because my whole knowledge of Spoelstra when Spoelstra was Pat Riley built the squad, coached up the squad, and then mentored him too, right? Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
And
but
then handed it to him, right? Like Spoelstra's always have pretty good teams put together for him his entire career.
Not necessarily, bro. You got to look at his playoff record. Like even what was that? Like 4 years ago, after Wade left. Man, what he did with that team, like, nah,
When Wade left, he had Butler, though, right?
No, Butler didn't come for like
Butler's only
2
been
years
here
later.
2 years, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Butler.
they had that guy from Philadelphia who didn't pass up a shot. What's his name?
Deion
Waiters.
Waiters, yeah.
Waiters. We had what's big man? I can't even remember their name now. Hakeem. Whatever, man. Forget their name.
Hassan Whiteside.
Hassan Whiteside. There you go. Hassan Whiteside. Yeah, I'm going back.
Look,
what he's doing with the
so
team.
let me say this, right? So I'm watching a show right now on HBO Max called
Right now.
Winning Time. Not right now.
The LA thing. That's
it's
cool
the
as hell.
Lakers story. It's by the way, highly recommend it. Great show.
Yeah, it's cool as hell.
And what's really cool about that, I'm in the first 3 episodes, is they're showing Jerry West stepping down as head coach and moving into the front office, and eventually Pat Riley's going to take over as coach. So you use that same kind of complex and say, well, look, Jerry West, arguably top 5 GM in NBA history, maybe even the best GM in NBA history, arguably, right? And you go there and you're like, well, if it wasn't for him, Pat Riley never would have had the success with the Lakers, right? So the same thing, maybe with there might be an argument to say, hey, Spoelstra might not be as successful as he was without Pat Riley, but look, they're all part of that coaching carousel and that coaching tree. And I'll go as far to say that when Pat Riley steps down, Spoelstra is going to probably step up in Miami, and somebody will come in behind him, and the hope is that it'll just keep on
Jamie,
going.
I would look up his record, man. If you really didn't, if that's
So listen, don't get me wrong, right? I wasn't saying he wasn't. I just was like, it was such a powerful statement. I was like, yo, that's something for us to like. What's our thoughts on that, right? Because usually, like, you could go one or two ways, right? For a guy to sit there and be homegrown and grow up and do it, you give him credit, right? But also, like we bring up Pat Riley, right? Pat Riley, he, was with LA all that time. The last time New York was decent, right, was Pat Riley, right? And then he came to Miami and did it again, right? New York hasn't been decent since Pat Riley left, right? So, like, it was hard to say. Like, it's easy to say Pat Riley is one of the top 3, maybe, of all time, right? But then Spoelstra stepping into Pat Riley, the house that Pat Riley built, and Pat Riley still being there, had me thinking, like, how much does I really give to this guy and call him one of the greatest,
Yeah, I mean, Spo has some growing pains, bro. Like, some of his rotations used to be questionable, but hey, he grew in front of you. You know what I mean? Like, end of the day, he has results, man. What 5 finals appearances. 2 rings. He wasn't there in 06. He was on the team, but he wasn't the coach. That was Stan Van Gundy.
All right, let me fast forward to another topic real quick.
Let me fast forward real
quick. Steven, hold on 1 second.
Steven,
we're not. Remember, this is business too, right? We're not stepping on our boys, right? They're later today, right?
No, yeah, they're at 10 o'clock.
Okay, good.
All right, hey, pull somebody up for me, man. I gotta roll. I love y'all.
You gotta go.
I do.
See you, Solo.
Bye,
Bye,
Solo.
Yeah, later, man.
Solo don't care. You either don't know, don't share.
Hey,
Go ahead,
Steven, show what I just sent you on the messenger. I've been sitting here running a NFL mock draft. I got your punter.
You did?
Did you get the guy?
Yeah, in
Which
the
round?
7th round.
Oh crap! If that happens, I'll lose my mind.
No doubt.
I don't know if that dude. You seeing crazy stuff for like the top kick. I don't think he's gonna last the 7th round. I think somebody's
I
gonna
don't
go get him.
either. But he was there in the 7th round in this mock draft I just did. Pro Football Focus.
All right, let me. I'm trying to download it now and put it up.
It's funny.
I'm gonna look at this real quick, and then we're gonna go on to our next subject here. Here we go.
Hey, while you're doing that, shout out to Clock Blockers, man. The recent shows, like I see you tweaking up the format. I see the fans loving it. Yo, great shows, man.
Today we had a wild one. I was taking shots this morning.
Yeah, I tuned in I only caught like that 5 minutes of it. I was like, what the is going on today? This dude done lost his mind. But you're getting paid, so I'll take it. I only
Dude,
saw like
I
5 minutes
had-
of that.
I
We're
had-
doing double fisting, and you got shots.
I had Nando on, the new Twitter guy, and yeah, man, it was a wild morning. It was a wild morning. Let me just put that.
I didn't expect you to make it to the show tonight, to be honest with you.
Well, that I'm a balls. I'm a balls. Good bro.
Yeah. How long was that nap in between?
About 2.5 hours, 3-hour nap today. That's neither here or there. Don't call me out on my bullshit.
Yeah.
Cameron, I want to ask you, man. Nick Castellanos. What do you think, man? What do you think?
What about him?
He signed with Miami, right? Yeah, didn't he? Am I wrong?
When was this?
Nick Castellanos. Oh no, the Phillies. Never mind. He went with the Phillies.
Yeah, so did Schwarber went with the Phillies.
Yeah, Schwarber did too. Who's the guy Miami got?
So Jorge Soler, he was last year's
Jorge
MVP.
Soler, Atlanta Braves MVP. That's the one. I'm sorry.
Thank you for bringing this up because I want to talk a little Marlins here. People underestimate the Marlins and what their potential can be. Jeter left allegedly because, they didn't have the cap space or didn't want to spend the money. And it's clear that they are. And I think it leads to a little bit more of a rift between Sherman and Jeter than people want to think was going on. They've added 4 All-Stars this offseason. And
Jorge Soler.
Yeah. Asviel Garcia, the outfielder. Joey Wendell, the second base, third base, utility guy who was an All-Star last year with Tampa Bay.
Yep.
And Jacob Stallings, who was Pittsburgh's All-Star catcher.
Yep. They got a good and I know they only won 60 some odd games last year, but they were young and their young pitching is so talented. I really think they could be an 80-85 win team this year.
And listen, 82 wins, being a 500 team in the stacked, National League East could get you into the playoffs.
It could.
So there's a lot of variables, obviously injuries and players have to step up, namely Jesus Sanchez and Jazz Chisholm, really have to elevate their game, and they potentially could. But the Marlins starting pitching staff is good enough to be a playoff team without the addition of the bats that they made. Soler has to produce. Garcia has to produce. Joey Wendell's got to produce.
The problem is the same thing the Dolphins are in. They are in a stacked, like for us, it's a conference for the Dolphins, but for the Marlins, I mean, look, they got the Braves, the defending World Series champions. They have the Philadelphia Phillies, who have arguably top 10 best player in baseball in Bryce Harper. And then you still go down their order and they got Kyle Schwarber, Castellanos. They have a great roster, not to mention the New York Mets and what they did this offseason. They got better. They got better at the managerial position by getting my boy, Buck Showalter. Love Buck Showalter, by the way. They went out and they just put a whole bunch of, look, it's arguably the best division in baseball, the National League East.
On paper it is. And the Marlins will be right there in the thick of it. The thing the Phillies don't have is quality starting pitching or a bullpen to speak of. But the Mets do, the Marlins do. Washington, they're a rebuilding team, but they have probably, arguably, the best hitter, if not the top 3 hitter in Juan Soto, behind Ohtani and Guerrero. That guy's must-watch TV, and he's only getting better. But, the Marlins rotation started with Alcantara, who they secured for the next 5 or 6 years with a long-term contract. Trevor Rogers, he was a dominant left-handed rookie last year at times. Pablo Lopez, who is going to be their number 3 starter and could be a number 2 on any team. And then, Hernandez, they've got a really good core of starting pitchers, and Max Meyer right there, yesterday pitched 4 shutout innings, had 4 strikeouts and 1 walk. The guy's going to be pitching in Marlins Stadium or whatever, the Lone Depot Park, by the end of this year.
At least
really
if they're making a run, there's no doubt he will be. No doubt in my mind. I really think we're going to see some different stuff. Here's the thing. National League gets the DH. That changed everything. That is the reason Kyle Schwarber went there. That is the reason that Nelson Cruz went to the Nationals. Who, by the way, I didn't even talk about the Nationals. But they still went out and got Nelson Cruz. They got Juan Soto. They might not be great, but bro, they're still they can beat you on any given night.
I just said that. Yeah, Juan Soto's must-watch TV.
And he might be the best player in the game. Arguably behind Shohei Ohtani and Mike Trout. He's right there.
Vladdy Guerrero is the best hitter in baseball.
He is, no doubt about that. Being a Baltimore Orioles and a Miami Marlins fan, and I root for both of them, it's so tough that I feel like I just can't get good with either one. I'm just so but you're right. On any given night, it's crazy. It was funny because I was talking with Xavier Scruggs, who be on the lookout for Xavier. He told me something behind closed doors. I'm not going to announce it on here, but let's just say he's got some major news coming out about a new thing that he's going to be doing come baseball season that I think y'all are going to love. And he's still.
You can't give us you can't break it.
No, I can't because I don't think it's official yet. But he said it's like 95% done in the bag. So I think they're just waiting to announce it. But it has to do with him. It has to do with MLB Network, and it's going to be a pretty cool thing, which I'm excited about.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. But he's still going to be doing the stuff with us bi-weekly, which I'm excited about. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to be able to touch baseball a little bit because I'm a big baseball fan, and my juices are going, Cameron. Seeing all this.
We're a month away from opening day. I'm not even a month, like 3 weeks away. I'm excited for it.
Me too. All right, so Miami Sports Music's number 1 evening show. I'm about to say morning show. The Miami Sports Music Power Hour. Solo D was with us for a little bit. Of course, he came in late, left early. Last one to show up, first one to leave. What am I going to do with him? And then you got Cameron Scott. You got Jamie Bahamas. Let's do final thoughts, man. The first thing I want you guys to touch on is the Terron. What about Panthers, Steven? We didn't talk Panthers. We did talk a little bit.
We did talk about.
Yeah. Look, there's no point in talking about it until we get to the playoffs. They're the best team. They made a good trade that I think is going to help them make a deep run into the playoffs. All I care about is 2 things: beating the Tampa Bay Lightning and getting to the NHL Finals. That's all I want them to do, and win it, obviously. So maybe 3. But I want them to face Tampa Bay in the playoff run because I want them to get their sweet, sweet revenge on Tampa Bay. That's what I want. So we talked about everything. All right, so let's talk about Terron Armstead real quick to wrap up your final thoughts about him because that's such big news, and any other final thoughts you guys have. Jamie, I'll start with you, bro.
Yeah, I'll keep it brief, man. Great show tonight. This is always fun to be able to kick back and, let the world see, how we are, right? But, the Armstead move, hey, we knew what the biggest need was for the Dolphins this, free agency period. Whether he is the answer or not, that's to be seen. But, at least we went ahead and tried to answer the question in a big way. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait to see if this offensive line is fixed. And, so I'm looking forward to it.
Cameron, final thought of the evening, my friend.
I'm with Jamie, man. I mean, listen, Grier went out and got his man. He got the number one free agent available. Someone that on paper shores up a glaring need for this Dolphins team.
Did not overpay. Did not overpay on top of that.
Oh, that's a key. That's a key note. So yeah.
It is. And so far, you'd have to grade Grier, an A for his off-season moves. And I'm including the coaching, signing McDaniel as well. I'm excited for that, and I'm excited for the Canes. I'm excited to see what they can do. Coach Larinaga and his squad.
What'd you say, Cameron? Lara who?
The U. And hey, listen, man, we're excited for that. And hey, you know what? It's funny. PGA Tour Tua just brought up a good point, man. Nobody's talking about Teddy and the Armstead having good chemistry.
We're not, and nobody's going to. We're not going to. It's not gonna happen.
Oh man.
Hey, but listen, in serious talk, man, I'm excited what the Dolphins have done so far. I'm excited for the Canes and what they're doing. I'm excited for baseball and the Marlins and the Cubs and Major League Baseball not being delayed.
You sound like Tim Tebow's press conference when he signed with the Patriots. I'm just really excited about being excited about just exciting about exciting to be. I'm just excited.
I'll never be compared to Tim Tebow. But hey, man, it's always exciting to be on here with you, Steven, Jamie, and Solo D. I know you're still listening. And we appreciate everybody's support, not only for this show, but for Clock Blockers in the morning.
Yeah,
all right.
Go see that tomorrow. It's always fire.
Miami Sports Music. I will be returning tomorrow morning with the number one Miami fan morning show, Clock Blockers. I hope you all had a really good time this evening. It was awesome. A lot of fun. We went into overtime a little bit. Next up in about 30 minutes, I want you guys to come right back here because if you speak a little Espanol, Cameron, give me a little Spanish. Give me a little Spanish.
No, mucho trabajo, no dinero.
No dinero. No dinero. Hellfins is coming up at 10 p.m. The Spanish-speaking Miami Dolphins podcast, Paris, Chochos, as well as Armand. And I believe they're going to have my girl coming on, El Note. If I said her name right, I apologize if I didn't. El Neste. She's going to be coming on. She's going to be the special guest this evening with them. So that'll be a lot of fun. Make sure you guys go check them out tonight at 10 p.m. At minimum, go in there, hit the like button, say hello to them at 10 p.m. Show them some love. Donate to the channel, help the channel grow. And tomorrow morning, I'll be back on at 9 a.m. for Wildin' Out Mortal Kombat Wednesday. Yeah.
Oh, right. That's always a good time.
It is always a good time. All right, so Miami Sports Music's number one podcast network, the Miami Sports Music Podcast Network. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.